Hey, what's up, everybody? Lawler here. Hope you guys are enjoying the insanity that is Regional 2 of the RLCS for Europe. But today, we're going to be talking about Q&A. Q&A, questions from you that you've submitted. It's going to be a quick and easy one. Number 28. Let's do this. What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. First question is going to come from David. Says, regarding the Team Decals, couldn't Sonics just implement some sort of spectator plugin that just automatically shows them on players' cars? Bagasmod already have this or similar options, and they did hire its creator. Yeah, this one's pretty unique. I talked and someone asked about how I felt about Team Decals being enforced, and I didn't really emphasize or go into detail about it. So let's do that. The first part of it is I said that by all means in the future, but right now I don't think it's a viable thing. I think currently right now in Rocket League, teams and rosters and stuff move around a lot. And when you're trying to become a fan of the game, it's very difficult to associate to certain players. And one of the ways that people do that when watching is their car decal and loadout and what they look like. It adds kind of that flair, that personality. And that's kind of part of a bigger issue, in my opinion, which is right now it doesn't feel like the RLCS broadcast, because we haven't had LANs or live events, there hasn't been enough showcasing of personalities. It's one of the things that I think is holding back Rocket League esports quite a bit. Something that Richard Lewis has also stated years ago before the entire community hated him. But he said like 2-3 years ago that probably one of the biggest things holding back Rocket League is the lack of pro personality. Our players, unless you're kind of a special case, aren't really built into that superstar fandom that you see in other esports like Call of Duty, League of Legends, etc. And part of that, I think, has to do with the lack of player interviews and player interaction and stuff like that. Like, why is Energy only sending Garrett G to do interviews? The other two, Justin and Squishy, although massively popular, don't really and aren't really enforced to do that stuff unless it is at LAN events and everything else. And I think it does hold back the esport quite a bit. So by enforcing a Team Decal, you kind of get rid of one of the small options that there is to showcase personality. And in time, as players get older and more comfortable in front of the camera, you may see that shift happen, and then we won't have to rely on it. There's a lot of other esports that do use Team Decal type plugins and stuff that allow them to, through an API, showcase something different from what they're seeing. That way they can still play with their layout or their loadout or whatever you want to call it. But then to the public, we have a clean feed that says, hey, this team is orange, this team is blue. That's the home team, the away team. And with home and away decals and all that kind of stuff, I think it's going to be really, really nice, which I'm a huge fan of. I think it's an awesome addition and something that is desperately needed in the Rocket League esports scene. The difficulty, though, is I don't think it's time to do it just yet, maybe in the future. But I do think that showcasing of personality, like I know I can look at a certain person's car and be like, yes, that is that person. Like Fairy Peak with your band or whatever it's called. Like there's certain players. Mark by 8 has a very unique decal and layout. So does Devo. Like there's certain players that you just know who they are based upon the way that they look on the field. Even though, unless you like follow a certain person's play style or understand like how they play the game, and there's that individuality, it's really tough. To the general public, you got to make it as simple and as easy and as accessible as possible. And getting rid of some of that stuff might be difficult. I do think, though, with organizations selling sponsor spots and being able to put those on the decals in the future, it may become a requirement moving forward. But again, that stuff is a whole different conversation that they have to have internally with their team. So it'll be interesting to see on how things evolve when it comes to the actual decals coming in game. Up next comes from Nap. What do you think of Rocket League TV broadcast? Something similar with what is going on right now. Mondays you would have First Touch. Then on Wednesday, maybe a car fashion show hosted by John or something like that. Just in general, what do you think of that idea? I think that you should check out Ranking Up on Sportsnet, hosted by Adam Lawler Thorne. I hear it's okay. There's 3 episodes out. You can check it out on YouTube, on Sportsnet's YouTube channel. And it is exactly that. It is a Rocket League show that is aired on Canadian national television. Ultimately, I will say that show is officially done with the pilot. We had 3 episodes that I was contracted for. And now we just have to see what their team thinks, what the analytics are, how well it's performed. Can we go into a studio and do the things that I actually want to do, like bringing in professionals and say, hey, man, people think you're pretty underrated. Let's prove that. Let's put you through a training pack and see how you do and see if we can increase the general perception about you. Let's bring in professional athletes that are also into gaming and try to bridge this gap between traditional, a bunch of cool things. Let's follow the life of an RLCS commentator and stalk Leaf for a day and see what his typical day is of waking up, eating Doritos and drinking Mountain Dew, and then casting for, you know, an insane amount of hours for the week. Like, things like that, content pieces that are really cool that we can do on TV if we have the budget. So we are trying to make a TV show that would do that type of stuff. That would be really cool. And again, the first 3 episodes were pretty limited, in my opinion, because I had to do them out of my studio, my own bedroom, at my apartment, as compared to an actual production studio in person where we can do cool things. And we're trying, man. We're really trying. It's just tough with the pandemic and everything else. I do know that Psyonix at any given point is talking to a lot of their creators, their casters and stuff, trying to find ways to evolve and expand the esports scene for Rocket League. So a lot of cool things are trying to be accomplished. Again, it just takes time, and it's really difficult right now in the pandemic. So those are a couple options for you and some plans that I hope and am hopeful for in the future. But yeah, man, I think anytime you can use it, I think Rocket League, again, is the perfect game to branch the gap between traditional, non-traditional, as well as old generation, new generation. Up next comes from Commander Concord. While the top 6 in North America are all looking extremely solid, one of them will have to miss out on the major. Do you think it'd be a good idea to expand majors to allow all these really good teams to participate? No! I talked about this pretty ranty in a video a couple days ago, I would say. Maybe it was last week. But this is meant to be a competition. And I don't know what happened over the course of the Sunshine Rainbows Blue Participation Trophy like scenario. But there needs to be cutoffs, because if there is not, then what is the point? The point of this tournament is to find out who is the very best. And after some point, you have to cut off teams and say, I'm sorry, you're not good enough. You need to play better to be in this conversation to have a chance. And if we let in 6, why not 8? Why not 10? Why not? And it's just going to keep expanding. They set 16 teams for every regional for a reason, for brackets and cleanup. They set 5 teams in NA, EU, 2 in others, 1 in others, to make sure we have a clean bracket. And as good as competition may be, that's what makes it exciting as fans. The fact that the team you may be rooting for, like, there's, what, 4 or 5 teams all tied for 4th right now in North America. There is basically 2 spots up for grabs, 4th place and 5th place. And you've got, like, 5 or 6 rosters all fighting for those 2 spots. That's exciting, that is entertaining, and that tends to go away when you increase how many can go in. I think it's completely counterintuitive to make it larger and larger. We are trying to find the best of the best. And there is a chance that, you know, on that given day when Regional 3 rolls around next week, you are going to see an upset and a team that, although they may not have been the best, performed the best on the day when it matters most, and then they get a shot to go and prove that again at the major. That is what we want. That is competition. That is entertainment. That is how it's going to be. I always compare it to the NFL because that is what I watch the most. But the NFL, although in a league play, plays 16 weeks, 17 this year because of COVID, but then they get into the playoffs and it's single elimination. There is no extra chances. You have to show up when it matters. And if you don't, you get left behind. Shout outs to you, Detroit Lions fans. 0-8 sucks to suck. Go Pack Go. Again, to reiterate, I don't think they should expand it. That's the point of the competition. It's to make it exciting and to make it cutthroat and to make it where everything is on the line. And the fact that we get to sit back and enjoy it and have that level of entertainment is absolutely insane. So I think it's great. I think 5 teams is a perfect spot. The fact that it is so competitive. The fact that we just saw in the EU regional yesterday or the day before that Endpoint pulled a phase. They went 2-3, didn't qualify after winning the first regional. And then after Vitality starts 0-3 in the first regional, they now qualify. But then you see K-Corp go 0-3 and knocked out. Like, it's EU is a massive cluster of crazy. And I'm all for it. It's super interesting, super entertaining, and it's going to make Regional 3 even better to see who goes to the major. So I'm all about it. Last and certainly not least comes from 4 for question 4. What's the name of the song playing during meme time? I have no idea. Wojtek, if you want to put it up, show people what the song is, and carry us out. I'm going to talk over the song, but let's fade us out. Greatly appreciate you guys all taking the time to tune in and watch the videos. If you guys do enjoy the content, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, turn on notifications. If you want your own questions answered, let me know in the comments down below. and I will get to them next week. But again, that is going to do it for me. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.